Please, whoever's next, come right up to the podium and just be ready for when the last speaker's done. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Janet Jacobs, and I've been a resident and a homeowner of Huntington Beach for about 43 years, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm here to support agenda item number 20, and I thank you, Pro Tem Mayor Mark Gracie, for bringing this to the table to our attention. Thank God, because otherwise, a lot of us that don't go to the libraries much anymore, it would just not even be known. I used to take my two sons when they were younger to the Central Library quite often, and it was so sweet, so innocent, so safe to just explore the many, many books, go to the story time. We painted tiles to support the library, and they're still on the wall today. And it was just a safe place to go, and we need to make sure that we keep it safe for our children. This is not a book ban. It is clearly not a book ban like everyone has been misled to believe. It is simply trying to keep this sexual perversion out of the hands and eyes of our children. If you Google the World Health Organization, go to the children's section. They are the ones directing this immoral, perverted, pornographic education of the young children around the world. These types of materials are sexual abuse, causing trauma, shattering the lives or the minds of the young. It corrupts them, causing mental illness, many addictions, and sometimes suicide. Their young brains simply cannot process this type of information that's being imposed on them. I want to thank our newest 4 council members. I was happy to campaign for you guys, and you guys with your backbone and your stamina, and for protecting our community, our families, our children. And Michael Gates, you're included in this, thank you. You're correcting all the wrongs that our previous council did. I want to thank you for hearing me out, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Next speaker, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mayor Strickland,
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Vandermark, and council members. My name is Jeannie Paris, and I've been a resident of Huntington Beach for 27 years. I am here tonight in strong support of Resolution 2023-41, establishing a policy for review and recataloguing of library materials containing sexual content for minors. It's just common sense to keep porn out of minors' hands unless approved by a parent. We are simply requesting them to be moved from one part of the library to the other part of the library. This is not a book ban. Although Huntington Beach Library is not a member of the American Library Association, they still follow many of their dictates, from book selection to digital recommendations. The new president of the American Library Association is Emily Drabinsky, who is a self-proclaimed Marxist and has clearly stated her agenda, which is that, and I quote, "Libraries need to be more on the side of socialist organizing. This isn't your grandmother's library." Tonight, you will see and hear excerpts from books that are in our library, some in the children's sections and some in the young adult. Part of the socialist Marxist agenda is to sexualize our kids as early as possible. The PowerPoint presentation put together by staff for the study session seemed to neglect the fact that there is an issue with sexually explicit materials for minors in our libraries. I don't know why that's so funny, but it's a serious topic. Here, this book right here, it's called The Bluest Eye, was written in 1970. It's recommended for young adult readers, which is under 18. It's essentially about an 11-year-old girl that is sexually abused by her father, becomes pregnant by him, loses the baby, then loses her mind. It's filled with sexual vulgarity, domestic violence, incest, school, alcohol abuse, extreme family dysfunction. Charming, uplifting reading for your teen. But the good news is this book is in our library, but it has been moved to the adult section. So this is very possible to make all this work. I also want to support Mayor Pro Tem's resolution in support of Israel and condemning the horrific attacks of Hamas. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. Next speaker, thanks for being here.
My name is Delane Bailey, and I'm a resident of Huntington Beach. What you're seeing on the screen is a product of the American Library Association, once a respected institution, but now, just like a two-tiered judicial system that practices lawfare, a media that can't tell the truth, Hollywood that corrupts the minds of children, woke churches, and a financial system that wants you to own nothing, they too are infected with socialist, Marxist, and communist. They want to destroy every facet of American life, and if you're a member of the American Library Association, that's a black mark on your record. It's anti-American. Emily Drabinski, the Marxist president of the American Library Association, just told the world's largest socialism conference in Chicago that libraries and public education need to be sites of socialist organizing. The book you're seeing here, It's Perfectly Normal, is in the children's section at our local libraries. It's aimed at 10-year-olds and is nothing more than pornography for children. It was written by a former member of Planned Parenthood's National Board of Advocates and highlights such topics as oral and anal sex, masturbation, STDs, rape, and abortion. It's in the children's section. Its purpose is to groom young girls and boys by using cartoonish graphic images to intentionally lower their natural inhibitions about private and sensitive subjects. The goal is to normalize every form of sexual expression, to desensitize our children and set them on a very dangerous path of sexual experimentation before they leave elementary school. And if you think this is perfectly normal, you might want to get your moral compass checked. I am a Christian. I believe in protecting life and that our founding fathers created the greatest country on earth using the wisdom gained from Scripture.
10 seconds.
And I'm 100% unashamedly MAGA, America first.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Patricia Pappas, and I am a resident of 44 years next month, and my husband's lived here over 50 years. I'm proud to come up here and speak and support resolution number 2023-41, the book policy, and resolution 2023-50 in support of Israel and condemning the attacks on Israel by Hamas. And I've let my Jewish family know and my Jewish friends, and they really, really appreciate it. One of my friends cried when she read the resolution. So I'm going to get to the topic. First of all, I appreciated the prayer that the pastor or the minister who was ever here to keep evil away from our council members and our city attorney and all of the people here in the chambers. In April, a group of us heard something about some books being at our library, both in the children and the teens section, and that they were obscene and pornographic. And you'll see some behind me or to the side of me. We investigated and we found that many books for children and teens fit into this category, some on very low shelves in the children's section. The book that Delane just read from, Perfectly Normal, is on a low shelf in the children's section. This one I picked up on Saturday, which is in the teen. It says young adult, but I see it as 12 to 18. This book is called Let's Talk About It. I thought it looks kind of innocuous, and so I thought I would take a look. And you can see some of the images here that are on the screen. I only put 3 up here. Imagine your 12-year-old child, imagine your 12-year-old grandchild going into the library, just looking for a book and kind of leafing through and finding images like this. It's hard. I've got some friends that just can't even let their 13-year-olds just go to the library like they used to. They need to be right there with them, and you should be able to be moving around. I saw Jessica, the manager of the library tonight, and I said, Jessica, there are good things happening at the library. We know that. I want to let her know that. But these things need to be handled. I was very pleased to see the safeguards that are going to hopefully be put in place. I do have to say I was a little bit discouraged on Sunday night. I looked at the city council agenda, and I read over the staff PowerPoint, and I was kind of shocked at the omissions there. I'm sad to say that it seems that possibly the request of the council was undermined in that PowerPoint. I
10
didn't see
seconds.
anything
10
about
seconds.
books. And I have about these particular books, and I have a special handout that I'm going to give to the officer for each of the council members.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Next speaker. Next speaker, thanks for being here.
Hi, Ann Palmer, a 3+ year resident of Huntington Beach, and I have to say, this is quite a show. I just can't imagine how people are opposed to controlling this information, keeping it out of the hands of a 12-year-old. 12-year-olds do not need to know about butt plugs. They do not need to know about blowjobs. They do not need to be educated in these sorts of things. We're not trying to ban these books. We're just trying to get them to the adult section. So I grew up with a lot of books. I love the library. I love books. I love children, in kind of the reverse order there. So growing up, the daily question is, what are you reading? We had to have books. Every holiday was a book. I had professors as parents, and so that's kind of the way it went. So here's what you would imagine a child might be reading. So you go to the library, and you set them free. And this that you just saw is in the children's section. So they can reach this and get their hands on it right there. Now, yes, you can have parental supervision, but in my opinion, children should have some freedom to explore books, and those books do not belong in those sections. It's age inappropriate. It's not hard to make the age-appropriate decision to put books where they belong. So next. Okay, so what are you reading? This is a great book about a boy who never gave up. So you would imagine your youngster reading something like this, and perhaps another boy, Lawn Boy, might be for 9 to 12-year-olds. So I'm going to read something for the next slide. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Okay, well, in the 4th grade, I touched Doug Gable's dick, and he touched mine. In fact, there were even some mouths involved. But he made not one reference to our tugging or sucking dicks. All I could think about was his little salamander between my 4th grade fingers, rapidly engorging with blood. Why won't you admit that we sucked each other's dicks? So, for young adults, this is where we found a treasure trove. I have the inauspicious joy of having read 6 of these in the last couple weeks. And of those, I only found 4 that were truly, truly offensive, so good, they weren't all that bad, but a couple of them were just awful. So you may be thinking that young adults, it was created to have...
Time. I'm sorry I didn't give you your 10 seconds. I apologize. Thanks for being here.